Hi everyone, welcome to Med Syndicate. As you guys know, we were discussing on the statistics part. We also saw the introductory part, what exactly is statistics and how it is aligning with data analysis. Uh, Let me quickly recap all the things that we saw in the previous sections. Uh, yeah, as we saw about this introduction to the statistics, and also we define what exactly is statistics and what it does. And we also saw that it is not just a numbers, it's a science, learning from data and collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing, as well as interpreting the data to make informed decisions. So guys, this explanation is very essential for you guys. It's usually asked in interviews, especially for those who are new to this field, or they might feel that this guy should be aware about the basics kind of thing. At least these are the things that they are expecting from you guys. Make sure you have a valid explanation for statistics, and you should be able to present all your skills in front of the interviewer or the organizer. Yeah, and I also discussed why statistics matter, like it might be healthcare or pharmacy or public health or business research. Like in last example we discussed about a drug clinical trial that we were expected to conduct on a set of population, and its expected outcomes. How shall we measure all those things? We didn't go deeper into the statistics part or the research part, but we saw an example, like we gave an example regarding this. And moving ahead to the business side as well, we also discussed on a product that we're supposed to launch in a specified geographical area within country or out of country, and also discussed what exactly should be done with the product, or how to collect the data and all. And moving ahead, we also discussed the descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. As I said, descriptive statistics, the name itself says, the methods for summarizing and organizing the data you currently have. For example, the average score or the average height that I also gave an example as average height in the last section. Guys, don't confuse with this thing. Like descriptive, as the name suggests, you are describing the data, or you are giving a descriptive analytics for the data part. And inferential statistics include, like, you have some set of sample and you are assuming it on the whole population. And also told you guys, or said you guys, to do some research on what exactly is sample and what exactly is population. Hope everyone is clear on this part. Sample is nothing but we take some part of a population. For example, we need to conduct a study on a drug in India. Obviously we can't do that on the whole population. I think our population is near to 130 cr, but for sure what we can do is, in all the states we can identify some population, some sample, sorry, and we can get approval for conducting the study. And then we can organize these studies. It might be controlled or randomized clinical trials or any other normal research studies throughout throughout the identified sites, and then we'll be gathering the data and we'll come into a conclusion over the whole Indian population segregated. This is what inferential statistics means. You can see methods for using a sample to make predictions, estimations, or decisions. As I said, we'll be using set of people or set of geographical people to make the informed decision whether this drug is suitable on a current population or not. For example, there might be a drug which is suitable for South Indians like Kerala, Karnataka, or Tamil Nadu, but it might not be suitable to the people in Northeast or in the Northwest region due to excess humid temperature, as this drug might have seen to create some potential issues, or might not be suitable to those people or to those geographical locations staying in those regions. So we need to conduct a study and see whether this drug is feasible or not, or is it safe to consume for a given disease. This is what we can study from this studies. And also majorly clinical trials are feasible or useful in terms of cancer trials, where usually companies spend too much on this, and they want to know whether a specified drug might be usable in certain cases of cancer, or it might be other side effects, possible side effects. They want to study and also need to know what is the potency of the drug and how much or to what extent this drug can extend. Guys, we'll be moving ahead with the second chapter, that is data, information, and variables. Guys, you might be aware like what we are dealing with. We are dealing with the research data analysis. As the name itself suggests, data analysis, we should be aware about the data, or is it an information, or what exactly are you using in your analysis. This is what the chapter 2 describes about. Like, if statistics is the engine, data is the fuel. This is the best statement that I can give for now. But we need to understand the exact nature of your fuel before you can use it. For example, you can't use a single kind of petrol in all kind of vehicles. The same way, you can't use the same quantity or quality of data in all kind of models or studies or any research. This is what this statement means. Let me clarify you what exactly is data and information. Data is nothing but it's a raw, unorganized facts and figures. For example, it might be 120 by 80 when it comes to BP, or it might be 145 by 90 when it comes to score, or it might be any other numerical or some data related to a study, or it might be any model that we discussed, or any research. This is what data is. When it comes to information is a kind of data that has been processed, organized, and in the given context to provide, like patient's is blood pressure is 120 by 80, which is considered a normal healthy range. What I meant in the previous section is, when we talk about BP, we measure in terms of 120 by 80. The information gets a value when you add BP word to it. Unless and until you quote it as 120 by 80, it is not going to work. We don't know what exactly is it. We know that it is a kind of data, but when you write this as patient's BP, then it is an information that we need to describe. Moving ahead, guys, you might be aware by now. You might be aware the difference between the data and the information. Moving to the variables and constants. As the name suggests, like constant is you can assume that it's remain fixed and does not change. As the name itself suggests, it's a constant, and variable that usually changes, or characteristic attribute that can assume different values across different subjects over time. It might be age, weight, blood pressure, income. In a set of population, like 20 to 30 age, 30 to 40 age, this is what variable means. Constant it is a characteristic that remain fixed and does not change. As the name suggests, content it is fixed. Example: the number of hours in a day and value of pi. This is a random example, don't worry guys, it's hardcore mathematics, but you need to focus on what exactly is variable and a constant. As the name as I also described, like what exactly is variable and constant. You should be in a position to understand what exactly is a constant. As the name suggests, constant is constant, it can't be changed. Variable is something that can be changed. For example, you are conducting a study and you have some 3 days. It's not like 3 days, but you can take an example as 3 days. 3 days per day, 24 hours. This can't be changed, right? But the sample size, when we assume there are some 300 patients, the age of these 300 people, the weight of these 300 people, the blood pressure, or any other metrics that we want to measure can be changed. That itself called as variable. Hope you might be you might have clarified these kind of doubts now by now. Even if you know, if you have these kinds of doubts, you can please leave a comment so that I can resolve. Moving ahead to the variables, like types of variables. Variables are broadly split into two categories, that is qualitative and quantitative. Guys, when we talk about variables, as you know, these do change accordingly, as we discussed in the previous section. These are further classified into qualitative and quantitative kind of thing. Qualitative, what exactly is qualitative and what exactly is quantitative? Qualitative is something that we need answers. For example, why the question raises. But when it comes to quantitative, the question arises is how many, how much. For example, you have a drug that you want to test it on patients. The qualitative variable defines why. Why are we testing on patients of India? Hope you have clarified this. I hope you might understand this question. Why are we testing this drug on a specified population? In this example, I took it as India, or you can take any state or any country, that doesn't matter. And quantitative defines on how many patients are we doing it. Hope you got an answer for this. Next is like observation, symbol, or word. This can be defined as qualitative. Like it might be the effect of drug, like it might be vomiting, or it might be I'm talking about side effects, okay. It might be vomiting, or in positive effects you can also see that a drug is able to reduce the what you call this potency of the disease, I can say. It is reducing, for in case of inflammation it is reducing the inflammation, or in case of cough it is decreasing the cough kind of thing. This is what we can assume or come to conclusion when it comes to observation or symbol or word when it comes to qualitative. But in terms of quantitative, we can see number or statistical result. For example, when I talk about vomiting, how many times, it may be 3 times or 4 times, when we administered the drug, how many times did the patient did vomiting kind of thing. This is what we can assume from numbers. Or if it is a drug related to hypothermia or hyperthermal studies, where the drug is expected to maintain or regulate the temperature. We can see to what extent or to what degree, by 2 degrees Celsius or 3 degrees Celsius, to what extent the temperature, the body temperature reduce. This is what we can get it from quantitative variable. And in qualitative, the motto is to observe and interpret. I repeat, observe and interpret. As I said, when you see the drug is able to reduce the fever, reduce the inflammation, you can come to a conclusion what exactly, or you can interpret from this, like what exactly is the drug doing to the body. You can see the drug is able to reduce the temperature or reduce the inflammation, and also you can also see the adverse effects, like it is triggering vomit sensation in humans. You can come to a conclusion or interpret the data that you got from qualitative variable. When it comes to quantitative variable, you can see this drug has triggered vomiting, but it's hardly 1 in 10 kind of thing. If this is the case, then you can like there is a risk of vomiting, but it is 1 in a 10. As I said, you are measuring the things that you are getting from a study or a research. This is what quantitative defines, and qualitative defines what exactly are you measuring, what exactly the purpose of studies, the purpose of research is, the purpose of gathering data is. And grouping of common data or non-statistical analysis, as I said, this also comes under qualitative. And also statistical analysis that we discussed, like number and quantitative figures, it comes under quantitative variable. Yep. When it comes to qualitative, as we discussed, describe the quality, category, or attribute. They are non-numerical in nature, even if numbers are used as labels. Examples: eye color, blood type, or zip codes. Even though it's a number, it represents the geographical location, not the amount. See, when I said qualitative, you can assume that what exactly is the qualitative variables defined. See, it is not a numerical format. Even though it is numerical format, it is defining some category. It might be geographical location or race or any other specified thing. It might be any code word describing about some disease, or it might be some code word describing about some impact of this drug. This is what qualitative means. And quantitative, usually, as we discussed, it's a numerical variable, represent a measurable quantity. They are always numerical and mathematical operations, like averages. That makes sense as well. Like quantitative variables are further broken down, as we discussed on the variable part, like quantitative and qualitative. Even quantitative is further classified into discrete variables and continuous variables. As the name suggests, continuous and discrete, we'll be discussing about these things. Discrete, what exactly is discrete? Like, can only take on specific countable values. There are gaps between values, like number of children in a family, number of cars in a parking lot, number of hospital beds available. Have you ever seen, like, there are only 2.5 children for in a family or for a couple? No, right? It's always 2 or 3, or like it's a specific countable values, not some half values or this thing. Next is continuous variable. Can take on any value within a given range, including the decimals, fractions, usually derived from measuring, like exact weight, height, temperature. If you come across any of the following data, it might be height might be 5.11 feet or 5.8 feet, or weight might be 70.5 kg or 80.5 kg. This can take the decimals, and this can take the further extension to inches or centimeters. This is what the continuous variable suggests. but discrete variables can only take specific countable values. Hope chapter 2 is clear, guys. uh, if you need this notes, please do comment. I'll be sending you the link, and we'll discuss about chapter 3 in the next video. Thank you and have a good day.